Hey, what's up guys, it's Disturbed, and today I'm going to be showing you guys my Predator's Mark PvP build. This isn't the best build for PvP, but it was highly requested that I make a video on it, and it's still a pretty good set in PvP for, making people bleed so they can't run anymore, and with all the other sets being nerfed pretty heavily, using Predator's Mark isn't a bad idea at all. Now, before everybody starts roasting me for my stats, I just want to make clear that my build isn't perfect. There are a lot of things that I need to change, and I'll go into that more into the video. But I just wanted to get this video out there and show you guys exactly how you want to set up this build. Also, I'm not going to be providing gameplay with it because it would probably just make the video way too long. And I just wanted to get this video out as soon as possible for you guys since you've been asking for it so much. So here it is. If you want to see gameplay of it, just let me know in the comments below and maybe I'll make a video on that in the future. Another quick thing to mention is that yes, my DPS stat looks low as hell, but the DPS stat doesn't actually mean jack shit. In the video I'm uploading later today, I'll go super in depth with that, but for now, pretty much don't pay attention to the stat, it's pretty much just broken. Either way, getting right into the build, so as you can see I'm going to be using 4 Predator's Mark, obviously, for the bleed and the extra assault rifle damage, and then for the 2 other pieces, I'm using 2 pieces of Final Measure. So the reason I'm using Final Measure is just so that I don't get one-shotted by sticky bombs. The extra 50% exotic damage resilience makes me kind of just tank the sticky bomb so I don't die instantly. Now, starting off with how you want to build your firearms and your stamina and your skill power, I would say for your firearms, you want to get it to at least 2900 so that you can activate all of the talents on your weapons, about 2800, 25. I'd say 2900 just to be super safe. Mine is a little bit overpowered, or I have like way too much firearms right now. I would lose probably about 200 if I could and then put more into stamina so my toughness would be a little bit higher. But I didn't get perfect rolls on everything, so it's whatever. It is what it is right now, but just try to find a balance between firearms and stamina. I'd say just get more stamina than firearms. And then for your skill power, I'll probably get into that a little bit more in a minute here. But anyways, starting off with what weapon you want to use, I'm using an assault rifle right now. That's just because the G36 is way overtuned and I have responsive on it and focused, and using this in PvP does a crap load of damage, but once the G36 gets fixed, I would suggest using an LMG. I don't actually have a good one on me right now, but a good one would be an RPK for PvP or an L86 LSW. Those are both really good for PvP because they have a 20% additional damage to enemies that are out of cover, and enemy armor damage doesn't work in PvP as of right now, so using an LMG with that would probably be better. Now, in terms of your talents on that, I would say try to get responsive. Brutal and deadly is really good. Unforgiving is really good. As I said, deadly is really good. Prepared is decent if they're running away, but just try to get a mix between some of those talents. Those are pretty much the best ones. Responsive is really nice to have, of course, for close range engagements and all that stuff. So just try to get a mix and match between some of those talents. Now, for modding your LMG or assault rifle, whichever it may be, for your scope, you want headshot damage and crit chance. Pretty much no debating this here. For your magazine, I would say get magazine size and weapon damage. I don't have one with weapon damage, so mine has crit chance on it right now. But one quick thing to mention though, you can put rate of fire on it. I wouldn't say to do that on a G36 because the G36 already has pretty decent rate of fire. You can do it on an RPK though if you want to, just to boost up the rate of fire. It actually wouldn't be a bad idea because RPK doesn't have that much recoil. But on a G36, it already has so much, 750 rounds per minute is already pretty damn high, and it's really no need to do that, so I would just suggest getting magazine size and weapon damage. And then for your underbarrel, you want stability and horizontal stability. This will help from your recoil shooting upwards. Stability just makes it to where it nullifies your reticle from going up when you're shooting, so it'll kind of just make it more stable, obviously. You could use accuracy, but this is seriously, all this does is just inflate your DPS. It's really not going to help you out in many situations. It's best for SMGs for making your reticle go smaller, but for an AR or something like that, stability is much better. And then for your muzzle, you want stability and crit chance. Mine doesn't have crit chance, so I have crit damage. So instead of having crit chance on my muzzle, I just have that on my magazine, and then instead of crit damage or weapon damage on my magazine, I have it on my muzzle. So that's what I'm rolling for in terms of weapons, or in terms of weapon mods, I mean. And then for my secondary weapon, I just have a Vector. You can use an SMG, or if you're using an LMG, you can just have a assault rifle as your secondary if you get low on ammo, or something like that. I just have a Vector because stacking two assault rifles would probably be a bad idea. So my Vector has deadly, brutal, destructive. If I could, I'd probably reroll destructive for responsive, for ideally for PvP, and then you want to mod it pretty much the exact same way. Now, in terms of your gear, very specifically, for your chest piece, you want armor and exotic damage resilience, and then it will always have 2 mod slots on it. You want exotic damage resilience just for when people sticky bomb you, it doesn't put you at half health, so you just end up tanking it a lot more. And then for your mask, you want skill power on it. Minor attributes, doesn't really matter that much. And then for your knee pads, you want critical hit damage. I re-rolled this like 4 times trying to get crit damage, and I seriously couldn't do it. A recalibration station just hates me, and I'm not going to spend a bunch of credits on a build that I might not even use, and I'm pretty bankrupted on credits as it is. I already have 95k. So I just have exotic damage resilience on this, but I would suggest getting crit damage so that you do extra damage. And then for your backpack, I would say get crit damage on it. You can get skill power if you want, if you're having trouble, people doing a lot of damage to you and you need that first aid with extra skill power on it. You can go for extra skill power, have about 30k skill power if you did that, but I wouldn't suggest doing it because I like having the extra crit damage. Crit damage is really nice, but it's really up to you. And then for your gloves, you want crit chance, crit damage, and assault rifle damage or LMG damage depending upon what gun you're using. Mine have health on kill on them because I re-rolled this again 4 times, and gloves are just the worst to re-roll. I couldn't get assault rifle damage or LMG damage each time that I rolled them. Don't really know why, so I just put on health on kill because why not? Again, I'm already bankrupted on credits as it is. Didn't want to spend any more, so it is what it is. Just try to get one with crit damage, crit chance, and LMG damage or assault rifle damage. And then for your holster, you're just going to be getting armor. Pretty simple. And then in terms of modding your gear, you want either stamina or firearms depending upon what your current firearms or stamina is. And then with the bonuses on them, I would say just get skill power, or you can get armor depending upon if you're at armor cap. Another thing to quickly mention, definitely make sure you're at armor cap. I'm a little bit over. The armor cap is 5,354, I do believe. So I'm 10 over the armor cap, pretty lucky there. So just make sure that you're armor capped, because if you're not, you're pretty much just going to get melted. Now in terms of your skills, you want to be using first aid with overdose 100% of the time, because when you get low on health, this is basically just an alternative to a medkit, help you get back to full health pretty quickly. This one gives me 40,000 extra health, so pretty helpful when I get low on health. And then for your secondary skill, I would say you can either use a shock turret, but you know, people hate when people use shock turrets. So if you don't want to use shock turret, then you can definitely be using a pulse with tactical scanner to give you extra damage. And yeah, not many other options here. Pulse gives you extra crit chance and crit damage, which is pretty nice. But if you already have somebody using a pulse on your team, just use shock turret. I know it's kind of cheeky to use it, but it's still really nice. Now for your talents, I would say use adrenaline for your first one. Accidentally had it on the move on. Oh my god, voice crack. Accidentally had it on the move on. But adrenaline just reads use a medkit when not at full health to receive an overheal. So when using a medkit, it will help you get to overheal. It'll help you get an overheal, and it'll make you just a little bit more tanky after using a medkit. So that one's definitely helpful. Next talent you want is precision. Headshot a hostile that pulls them for 10 seconds. Not many people know what this does, but it actually, I made a video on it and it got kind of a lot of views, so maybe you do know what it does. But it just increases your crit chance and crit damage by 12.8% and your crit damage by 25.6%. After you headshot somebody, it lasts for 10 seconds. So if you don't have a pulse up on them already, headshotting them, it'll help you see them through walls, and it increases your damage against them by a crap load. Definitely want to make sure to get that talent. Next one is none. Headshot a hostile that have a 50% chance of not consuming the bullet. So when you're shooting somebody in the head, the bullet will basically just go right back into your magazine. There's a 50% chance of it happening. So it'll go right back in your magazine, and then you can keep on shooting rapidly before you have to reload. So it's pretty helpful. Increases your overall burst DPS. And then for the last one, definitely don't want to be using Combat Medic. I don't even know why I have that on. Combat Medic doesn't work like it used to. You want to be using Critical Save. Critical Save reads use a medkit during low health to increase damage resistance by 40% for 10 seconds. So when you use a medkit at really low health, it'll just make you a little bit more tanky by 40% when you're at low health, and then it'll make you take less damage. Pretty simple. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the build, guys. I hope this did help. If it did, please make sure to drop a like and subscribe for videos similar to this one, and have fun with the build, guys. I'll see you later. Peace.